All right, everyone, welcome in to episode 7 of the Hooley Brothers podcast, our Super Bowl preview here. Again, not sure what the big game, Super Bowl, whatever. We're going at it. We got our preview for you today. Mike, how you doing? Nice cut.
Thank you. You too. We both got a haircut on the same day.
both got our shout out. Our Lisa at Sheer Elegance. She always hooks us up. Been doing it for over a decade now, probably close to 15 years now.
Yeah, years old.
Yeah, stick to it. Find something I stick to it. But anyway, yeah, so both fresh cut, we're ready to go. And I guess let's get into it. Like I said, we've kind of been tiptoeing around it the last few episodes here, but we knew we were going to have a lot of time. Now we're just one day away. At the time we're recording here, probably a little bit over 26 hours until kickoff tomorrow. So we got it. The old guard versus the new guard. We got Brady and the Buccaneers, his first year in Tampa, versus the defending champs, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So, again, I could see this going a number of different ways. I so much of me thinks the Chiefs are gonna win this game, but again, I don't think I can ever count up 12 out.
I know it's kind of. I think we both listened to the local radio station, Felger Maserati, or no, it was sorry, it was part of my take that we both listened to. But it's kind of like you're gonna feel like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You're gonna feel like an idiot if you think the Chiefs are gonna win. You're like, how can I think that Tom Brady's gonna lose? And if you think the Bucs are gonna win, it's gonna be, how do I think that Patrick
Mahomes is gonna be exactly.
who has like 9 losses and he could have 2 Super Bowls before he's 25.
Yeah.
It's kind of you're going to feel like an idiot regardless. So I've been on the Chiefs at the beginning. I think they've just been the best team in the last 2 years, even 3. I think they were probably better than us when the Patriots beat them. We got a little lucky back then. So I would say that I'm just going to roll with Pat Mahomes. I think at this point of his career, Brady, the fact that he got there, he's playing with gravy right now, where you kind of expect the greatness from Mahomes right now. It's hard to say when you're looking at 6 on the other side compared to 1, but I think they are leaning towards expecting Pat Mahomes to come out and have a great day, because he didn't really have that good of a Super Bowl last year. He did have 2 interceptions. I mean,
it took him to the fourth, really.
He did come through that big throw to Hill, but it was more of playoff Damian taking control, because he had that great play to I watched some of the highlights from last year's Super Bowl today on Facebook, but
nice.
It was kind of it was an out route on third and goal when it was 20-17 San Fran, and Williams really made the play. It was a lot of yards after catch, and then the rush to put that game out of reach. So I think he kind of wants to have his big day where he kind of just takes over the game. So I do expect, even in the elements, the Chiefs to put up some points tomorrow.
And that's a good point too, because I think we're both in agreement that, and we're having a little bit of a happy hour here, 4:00 on a Saturday. So, I told Mike I got my case here, no free ads. So, but yeah, so. Yeah, I think we're both in agreement here that if this turns into a track meet, it's going to be the Chiefs are going to run away with it. I don't think the Bucs can keep up to the high octane offense that the Chiefs have. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to that Tampa Bay defense and see if they can slow them down. So a couple of things there. You mentioned even the elements. I think that's something that's going to favor Tampa Bay because, again, Brady's kind of more of find the open guy, or some people call him a dink and dunk passer, which I think you could take as, a lot of people take it as an insult, but I think it's a compliment in some ways. You're finding the open guy, you're kind of picking apart slowly, making your way down the field. Whereas the Chiefs are such a chunk play team that they're trying to, get Tyreek Hill in open space and everything. So if the ground's a little, if it ends up being a rainy game, I think that can help Tampa Bay. And also something we mentioned before, also Eric Fisher being out for this game, I think is huge, and it's going to help the D-line. And also, I'm blanking on his name. Like, isn't there another Kansas City lineman I think he's going to play, but he's kind of questionable going into it?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. But I think I'm on the flip side. I think the elements might actually favor Kansas City, because we do think Brady has the dink and dunk guy, but that was more of New England's offense, whereas Tampa Bay's offense is a lot of the aerial deep balls, like with going deep to Evans and Godwin and the fastest guy in the field, Scotty Miller. So whereas I feel like the Chiefs, even though they are getting chunk plays, it's a lot of yards after catch. I feel like a lot of the passes to Kelsey is usually at the sticks, and he kind of makes a play and gets like 7 yards after that, or Hill like on a screen pass, or Hardman's kind of a lot of like they throw it like middle, like 10 to 15 for like the chunks yards after the catch.
Yeah, I guess I'm more thinking the time of the drives are going to take. I feel like Kansas City's a team that can go down the field in 2 minutes. Like I think that the rain something that could slow that down because I think that's an easy way to kind of get that. I think we mentioned before the Shane Falco, the quicksand effect, where it can get out of hand really fast. And I think that they're going to at least be slowed down. So even if they're scoring on a lot of their possessions, it might be taking 6-7 minutes versus going down the field in 2, and then Tampa goes 3 and out, and you kick it back, and before you know it, you're down 14-0, 21-0, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think this game is going to come down to the start for Kansas City because you can tell they kind of can sleepwalk through certain parts of the game usually early on. So if Kansas City gets on a roll to begin and it's like 14-3 before you know it, I feel like once they start scoring, it's going to be hard to stop them. Once the momentum gets in and their offense gets in, like you said, that tempo where even though they're not running hurry up, it's a lot of just no huddle, like 10 seconds on the play clock, snap, 12 seconds on the play clock, snap, and they're kind of just dictating the pace of the game. And that's when the Chiefs are just unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the start is huge because I think if they fell down early, we might or Tampa rather if this goes down like you said 14-3, 21-3, whatever it might be. If it gets down, I think we're in for a pretty boring Super Bowl. Honestly, I think it's going to have to be at least close early. I mean, if Tampa's not scoring, they can't be letting up points to Kansas City. It's going to have to be you got to hang with them. I think if you can be within a position by the half, I think you're or within a possession rather by the half, then I think you're in good shape. But if you fall down early, I think that's where Kansas City is going to really run away with this because I just don't think Tampa's built to do that while at the same time shutting down Kansas City in the second half. I don't think that's something that can happen.
Yeah. Well, I'd say even regardless of elements, there's going to be points tomorrow.
There will be points. Again, I'm a little weary, and that's why I think because I'm a little unsure about things in both of those as we kind of get more to the gambling side of this or the bets, and it's a lot of time. I don't know how many squares this year. I don't know about you, Mike, but I'm really missing the office pool.
I located some squares. My friend actually, he's been a very good listener to the podcast. I haven't seen him in 10 years, but my buddy Dan Page sent out some squares and texted our fantasy group chat out of nowhere this morning and was like, "Oh, we got some squares," and we all hounded on him. So I got one, and then there's like there's one left, and I texted Aria if she wanted some. So we both.
Oh man, I wish there was some still there. Yeah, because I was just realizing the other day
we went split skis, so we're splitting the buy-in and splitting the winnings. So
okay,
yeah,
I think something that just snuck up on me. I like realized I'm like, well, I'm not in any of these. And I was thinking back, I think the last few that I've been involved in have been office related because it's almost like even though it's something that we're obviously well into the 21st century here. There's Google Docs and all these things, but there's just something about that printed piece of paper. So I think not having that has kind of taken the wind out of the sails a little bit. So
yeah, well,
didn't have one organized at work or anything.
The person that runs it in my office, she has a cube next to me, but she's like 60 years old. So I don't think she has Venmo, which is kind of all you have to do.
That's true too. Yeah, you're not collecting money from people.
Because usually she'll send out the email like the day after the championship game, but we didn't get anything this year, so I assume she just sat out.
So without the squares, that's gonna again lend to I think more of the betting aspect. We're gonna get into some prop bets in a little bit here, but talking about the basics here because you talked about feeling stupid either way, and that's why I think I have to go with the tease here. I have to do that because we talked about the total, and can you let me know what the current lines are, Mike? I know you're kind of the guy here for this because I think it's either 3 or 3.5 on the spread, and then I believe the total was around 57. I just want to check those numbers.
So right now it's -3, -130. So the lines, so it went down to 3, but it's a worse payout. So right now it's Bucks +3 +110. And the over-under is 56.
56. Okay, because I'm thinking I got to do something like
+9 over 50.
Yeah, I think that's the move because then I won't feel stupid if the Chiefs win the game.
And you're like, you think it's going to be a one possession game, either way.
I mean, I'm not saying I could see the Chiefs blowing them. That's something that can't happen, but I don't know. I want to go with Tampa. I want to have a reason to root for Tampa, and I think that's just the best.
Fire the Cannons.
Fire the Cannons. Gene Deckerhoff, the great announcer down in Tampa Bay there. But, yeah, I think that's going to be the move for me. We'll see how the lines look tomorrow. Kind of, I'm not going to place anything yet.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to end up what I'm doing. I wish it was 3.5 so that I could, kind of get it maybe to 10 on that side, but that's going to be tough. I just know that they're going to win this game by 10 points now. But yeah, I think that's the move because again, the over's a little high, but if you put it at 50, I think that's something that's definitely going to hit. Obviously, you need to win both to win it. That's the beauty of a teaser. But I think that's where I'm standing right now because, again, the Chiefs have that ability. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a field goal game. It could be closer to 10. I hope it's not. But I just think that that's the best case where my rooting interest and kind of going with TB and everything kind of just it's the best of everything that I can do.
Got a final score prediction?
No,
go along like your best case scenario for your teas.
Well, I want the Bucks to win, so that's I don't even know what that would be. Maybe like and this would be kind of not that over, but maybe like a 28-24 type deal or 38-31. Yeah, 28-24 Bucks. Sure, let's go with it. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not tied to if I'm wrong, whatever. So
yeah,
28-24.
I think I like the 28 for the Bucks. And then I like the ending in 4 for the Chiefs, but I'm going to go 34-20. 34-20.
Okay. All right. So you think you'll go with the Chiefs -3?
Well, again, I have a future for them to win the Super Bowl, so I got that.
Right. You might as well double down on it, yeah.
No. I think I put a more than usual on it, so I think I'm just going to roll with them just to win because the Chiefs do a good thing.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, winning games, but not covering.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's what I'll go with that. I don't know why I think the Chiefs are going to be held, but I think that's the only way Tampa's going to win. You know what I mean? I think they're going to have to keep it relatively, in that mid to high 20s range.
Well, I think one of the main things I do like this prop bet, if we're going to stick to betting, is if he is actually playing tomorrow and is getting a majority of the snaps, watch out for Sammy Watkins.
Okay.
Because in the playoffs the last 2 years, I think he's averaging like 80 yards a game. He's always been a big part of their offense. Like he had a couple big catches I think on the go-ahead drive, he had a huge catch to get them down into the red zone on the Super Bowl last year. So if he's going to be active, I think the line set at like 36.5. So if he's getting the snaps, like I'm not sure if Robinson missed some practice time this week with the whole Barber situation. So I'm not sure if Watkins was getting some of the practice reps from him. So I think there's another weapon to that offense is just going to make them very, very hard to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially even though the Bucs D might be getting healthier, they're still going to be banged up.
Yeah. And I almost want to, just because that's another reason why it's like, I think at the end of the day, it will go over, but there's something with the Super Bowl sometimes where it's like, I don't know if it's like the jitters early on where it's like, it kind of could start slow. So I'm trying to see what the exact final score was last year?
31-20.
31-20. Okay.
Yeah.
So same total points. Pretty much the same total points as I'm saying. I think just one.
It is exactly.
Well, I'd have one more. I'd have 52. That'd be 50.
Yeah, right. Math. I'm a finance guy.
But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking for the basics there. I think it's going to be, like I said, I'm trusting Tampa's defense a little bit in this game to slow down Kansas City, and I think that's what's going to keep them in the game. Again, I don't like the pick, but I'm going with it, and that's what I want. And again, hopefully there's some insurance there that if the Bucs can even lose by a touchdown or less, then
I think for me with the double-edged sword we're talking about, I'm like, it's Brady, but it's also the Bucs. So like, of course you expect them to be good. They're clearly good for a reason. They're in the Super Bowl, but I feel less of an idiot thinking they're going to lose than thinking the Chiefs are going to lose after what I've seen the last 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, you could spin it either way. So
that's my way. I'm setting that, and I'm good.
All right. So those are our picks for the game. We got our scores, our spreads, and our over-unders. So you're obviously going over as well. You're going over the 56.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over 56.
So your total will get to what? That would get to 62.
Yeah.
Your score. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And
awesome. I think I'm going to be shocked if there's 0 field goals and it's actually a missed extra point to get to the 34.
Oh, okay. So you're seeing some Butker.
Only 4 for 5.
Yeah, well, that's some. Yeah. All right. So I think this is a fun thing to do. I'm a little upset because usually this night, the last 2 years, I've gone down to Twin River and it's a good time there. We get our sheets, me and my buddy Tony, and the crew that we go with down there. And you just see this whole sheet of all these different prop bets. So I think that'd be something fun to go over today. I got Mike. I think you might have a good list in front of you to
Yes.
just go over maybe some of your favorites on there. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take quarterback here. So the top prop I have on my online thing, Super Bowl MVP think first. So we have the favorite at teammates minus 120. Doesn't think anyone plus 250. Plus 175, God or religion. Fans in the city plus 600, family plus 800, coach plus 900. And then I think my two favorites are the long shots. The owner plus 1,500 and the best one, the referees plus 2,000.
That one is never no.
I think the value bet on this.
I might agree with you. Go ahead.
Family plus 800.
Okay.
If the Bucs win and Brady gets MVP, thanking his family for doing the move.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the 8 or so I listed. That's like 6, like that third highest odds. I mean,
again, I don't know if this is something that I'll end up going for, but I like the fans in the city because it's weird because you gave a reason for Brady, but you picked the Chiefs. I have a reason for Mahomes, though I'm picking the Bucs. I just think I don't know. I can just see Mahomes just want to thank everyone out in Kansas City. I don't know. I could see that being a good leadoff point. I think it's good value there.
Even plus 900 coach and staff if the Chiefs win. If he wants to make a little jab at not getting any hires. So
it's tough because it's obviously this is first too. So it's I have no doubt he will do something like that. Yeah. It's what direction do you go first?
I do think that teammates is probably it's a favorite for a reason. It's favorite for
exactly a reason. That is so. But other than teammates, I think I like the fans of the city first.
Okay, so that's one fun one. I'm gonna shift gears now to the Gatorade shower.
Oh, the Gatorade. Who was it? We had someone with some inside knowledge. I forget what I was listening to the other day. Orange might be. Orange is always a good.
Orange is the favorite plus 110, and then no shower plus 200. My favorite's red pink plus 175. Just what color is Chiefs? What color is Chiefs?
Red.
What color are the Bucs?
Red, but they also have that creamsicle.
Sure.
So I can see some orange in the mix there too.
Purple 375, blue
I bet
500, water plus 500, lime green yellow plus 275.
Actually, don't hate that. The OG.
I don't know. I'm just picturing Andy Reid in a giant red rain jacket for.
Do we know what it was last year?
No, I
that might require some research, but I hate it because it's but orange just does seem like a good pick, even though it's the favorite. Not a lot of value there, but I think that might just be, keep it simple. Don't overthink it.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the national anthem. So my thing has a couple different options. I think the over/under is at minus. It's not minus. The over/under is at 118 seconds, but they do offer every 10-second buckets, so 60 seconds or less, or plus 10,000, and then it gets a little bit better. So it's minus 115 for 111 to 120, minus 188 for 121 to 130, and then minus 375 for 131 or more.
Oh, is there just an over/under as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to locate that.
But you were thinking that might be who's doing it again?
Want to look that up for me, Sean?
Yeah, here I'm on it. Great, like I said, great radio here. Super Bowl LV anthem. No. I found last year's. That was Demi Lovato. Okay, let's see what we have here. Jasmine Sullivan, Eric Church. Okay, I do remember it being a duet. That That makes me think it's going to go over because you're going to be taking your time. You're with someone. You're going off with someone else. Whereas I feel like if you're up there all by yourself, you might have these jitters. You might go a little fast. I know me on a lot of work presentations, sometimes go a little faster than I want to. So I think because it's a duet, maybe that's what they want you to think, but I think that would go over.
I think I'm leaning under just because it's so fun to root for the over. So they're going to make it the under.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can see that going away. Like the duet makes me think over, but yeah, these are definitely some fun ones. How about I don't even know where they found this, but I didn't mention we were listening to part of my take yesterday. One that I found interesting, and I don't even know if you could find this on yours, but just it's a good hypothetical question here. Is what was it like over under on the jersey number to score the first touchdown?
Yeah, it was.
25
Yeah.
and a half, I think.
Yeah, I think my roommate Jack was telling me one of his friends had it, but he was seeing like 18 and a half. So I think I would like the under. I would like the under on that. It's pretty much. It's only Travis
I
Kelce. It's
I like over. No, not just Travis Kelce. If it's at 25 and a half, we got playoff
playoff
Lenny and Rojo for the Bucks
and Elair.
because he'd be under, right? 25.
I thought it was 22.
No, I think I heard you. Oh, on the show yesterday, I think they said it was 25 and a half.
Oh, never mind. Then
So it depends on where that falls. So I
yeah.
think no, but I think that's good value because I would have to think that under's favored because of guys like both quarterbacks are obviously at that time, and then obviously like you said, a lot of the receivers, Tyreek Hill, all those guys, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all them. So, but then it also gives you Gronk, it gives you Cameron Brate. So
yeah.
because a lot of guys in the Bucks offense, and then Travis Kelce had the most touchdowns on Kansas City. So I think there's good value in the over there too. If we could find that one somewhere, that was probably the favorite that I've heard so far as
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm trying to siphon through it. Like there's just so many different like options. Like just related to the game. Like Travis Kelce to score 2 touchdowns and be MVP like plus 1350. Like a lot of like some kind of like it's a lot of like kind of siphon through that right now as we speak on a great radio.
No, that's good. I mean, I think,
but
good.
I think what I do like will be actually, even though I just said I like the under on the jersey number, I think Kelce first touchdown, of course, is a good bet. Or even as Kelce anytime touchdown score, it's probably like minus 200. But I still like those odds.
Yeah, just like it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And then there's also I don't know if you have we won't go through like a million here, but I think some of like the individual player props are always good too. First touchdown's always fun. I know you're a big our guy Clem with the Mecole Hardman.
I'll definitely. I think I'm definitely gonna throw $5 on Mecole and then probably like 10 on Kelce and then maybe throw in like $1 just to help out. I was so mad last year because I had playoff Damian first score touchdown and they had the ball at the 2-yard line and Mahomes kept it. I was like, come on, just get it. Like I was like, you know what? Like Mecole's on the field, it's fine. Like so I guess the last fun one I'd say would be coin toss.
I've had enough of the tails never fails thing because one, it makes no sense, and two, I think a key part of the run, I think it was most prevalent on the last Patriots Super Bowl. I'm just picturing Matthew Slater with his confident heads and it coming through a lot of times for the Patriots. So I like heads.
I liked it. I hate the whole tails never fails things, but I like it this year.
You just like tails, yeah.
I just like tails as is this year.
Yeah.
And then
I like some opposing views.
And then there's also just coin toss winner. They're both minus 102, so pretty much even payout.
Right.
And then there's also a combo. So yes, Bucks win coin toss plus win the game. No, Bucks don't win coin toss and win the game. Yes, Chiefs win coin toss and win the game, or no, Chiefs lose the coin toss and win the game.
That's too much for my brain to handle.
Honestly, you might ride the plus 185 Chiefs win coin toss and win game.
Yeah.
It's minus 500 for Bucks to lose the contest and win the game.
The Chiefs are picking, right? Because they'll be the road team.
Yeah, good point.
So yeah, if they guess right and then win the game, that's not a bad bet. I was always a big like over under individual players, either receptions or yards. That's always a fun one to do.
Yeah. Let me see.
Especially with Kelce, I'm sure he'll get targeted. I'm sure his is probably like 8.5 or something.
Yeah, let me
crazy like that.
Gotta refresh the page because I had it all clicked on the other ones. Let me see. Let me see. I can get those up for us because usually they have them all together, but because the Super Bowl, they have it all on their own
There's
page.
so many.
Yeah, they have it all on the same page. So I'm literally just gonna click on
Yeah.
every single person.
Yeah, because I think it's easy, kind of as we're looking these up. I think just I don't know, but sometimes those are the ones that don't hit. Because I think last year, or no, it
Yeah.
was 2 years ago, the Patriots Super Bowl. I had like a James White over under. It was only like I think like 6.5 receptions. It might have even been lower, maybe like 4.5 receptions, and that's the game was 13-3, so he didn't get that many touches. So sometimes things seem obvious, and then they just somehow don't hit. But Kelsey seems like surefire to me.
Yeah, Kelsey, and even I like Tyreek Hill too. I
Yeah,
tell you, I think the Chiefs are gonna
I
put up
like
some
Hill
yards.
yards.
Yeah, I'll probably do receptions for Kelsey and then yards.
Because what did you find those? Sorry.
I don't know. It's being really
No,
annoying.
that's fine. We
I'm
can. I
getting
mean,
I'm getting
whatever they are, I like Kelsey
yeah,
over
I'm getting
the
used to the new
receptions.
interface, so a lot of them are getting like the
Yeah,
um, yeah. I think I'll try the new thing. It was basically
new spot for you over there.
yeah, so it was kind of just giving like a lot of those like 0 to 100 yards, like plus a billion,
Yeah,
like
yeah, a
for, like
lot of
passing
like
yards. So
ranges. Yeah.
let me see. Okay. So I got it up. Receiving yards for it cuts off. Sammy Watkins is 37.5. Tyreek Travis Kelsey is 100.5 for receiving yards.
Oof. Yeah, again, I think I agree with you as far as I think Kelsey will get more receptions than Hill will get more yards just because of the nature of how that goes. But then again, Kelsey seems to be getting these like 10 to 15 yard.
Kelsey is 8.5 receptions. Hill
Mike,
7.5
what did I say?
receptions. Yeah.
That's what I said. I hate how like stupidly good I am at this stuff.
And Hill is 96.5 yards. I'll probably do that over.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, those are again, those are fun ones. Like I said, I'm missing a bit with the just
And
getting
if
that
he,
sheet out in front of me.
and
It's
if
fun,
he's
but
if he yeah, and I say if he's healthy and playing, and I don't hate Cameron Brate touchdown.
yeah, I definitely could see that happening. I think especially in the red zone. I think everyone's looking at
You,
87 there.
yeah, you think Gronk can get the touches, and it's always like he's even in
Yeah.
the touchdown in the NFC Championship game. We go up 28-10. Brate was wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think we covered some fun props here. There's a million out there, so if
Yeah,
you're
so
interested in,
many I got overwhelmed. I can barely read through them, so I apologize to you guys.
it's fine. Like I said, I know. Like I said, even in person, I just like pages stapled
Yeah,
together,
I
going
like
through
that.
everything.
Yeah, because I was even talking to my boss, and he was like, I usually just do it, and like Bovada has this like sheet, and I go through, but I can't find it. It's just like,
Yeah,
see
exactly.
that? Yeah.
Well, note for after the show. I just remembered we recently bought a printer, so
Ooh.
if you could send me a link there, I might do that just so I can get my head
Yeah.
above some of this stuff here. But yeah, it should be fun. Again, especially when your team's not in it, and kind of to wrap up the whole Super Bowl talk here. I know again we went over the preview, the picks, and some of the fun prop bets here. Obviously, we're a little spoiled, and by that I mean very spoiled. We've seen the Patriots in 9 Super Bowls, win 6 of them. So I have to ask a two-part question for you, Mike. Just first, what's your favorite of the Patriots Super Bowls, and then what's your favorite non-Patriots Super Bowl?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think probably the Falcons game
I agree, and this is like
because
again, I was
it is.
in. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say selfish of me because I think so. I was in college for 2 of them. I was in college for freshman,
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, junior,
Mm-hmm.
for the Atlanta one. I was my freshman year. It was kind of harder to locate alcohol, so I didn't really have that much. I had like I
Yeah.
basically I was like doing homework the entire day, like up until like
Mm-hmm.
kickoff, pretty much. So like I kind of was like relatively sober for that, and I was all crammed into like one little like freshman like
Yeah,
dorm,
yeah.
like 8 people, and
Yeah.
I was like chilling on like one part of the bed. Whereas like so it was kind of like yeah it was fun, and then I was like on the upper part of campus, and then when they won, everyone was down at the lower end, and it was kind of like they really want to walk down there dead sober. It's like not really, so we kind of just like stayed in. But I was on the lower part for junior year and pounding keystones the entire day, and it was just like
Yeah.
and even just it was like pain all day. And then once like you saw that, I think it was the high tower sack. Everyone like looked around like they're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And my boy Tarby predicted the James White direct snap. He called it before it happened,
Mhm.
and it was just everyone went wild that day. It was like probably one of the few times I skipped a class was the next morning. I went out to the common space. I think like someone was on a couch and ended up on bar stool, and it was just like a people were chucking beers across and we're catching one and
Yeah.
just drinking one. It was just like
Yeah.
classic college shenanigans.
Yeah. So
So
I'll hop in on that one before we get to part two. I agree. I think it's something that if I were maybe 10 years older, I might say the first one, that Rams game. That was it shows you how much we've grown almost with Tom Brady. I think we were talking about that a few weeks ago, just how you were in kindergarten, I was in third grade,
yeah.
and Brady's last game with the Patriots, I was like ages like 9 to 27 or 28 or whatever it might be. Like it's crazy. Like
Oh yeah, even like me, like I think the first game I remember watching was the Snowball, the Vinatieri.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember like I only watched the first half of that. Like I was 6 years
yeah,
old, so they put me to bed, and I was like, wait,
yeah.
they
I don't think
won?
I didn't either.
And like they won. Like yeah, it was a great kick. And then I remember bits and pieces of the Steeler game, and
Yeah,
even like the Rams game. Like I only remember the David Patton catch before halftime,
yeah.
and then I think we had to go to bed and we didn't really watch the second half, but they woke us up.
No,
At least
no,
me.
we did. We
Oh
we
yeah.
were in bed. The
You were
TV
in
was
bed.
on.
Yeah. I just
In our
remember going
twin
nuts
beds.
with it. Yeah, I remember just going nuts when we actually won.
Yeah,
And then like even just like I barely remember even like that like I'm bad memory as a kid. Like I don't even remember watching the Panther one too.
yeah, yeah.
Like I know I watched the whole thing. And then I remember
That's
vividly the Eagle one.
right. So that's the thing
I put a
with
TV in the bathroom. It was great.
no, that's the thing with the first dynasty there. It's like I said, I remember them. I got a little better because I was kind of third through sixth grade in that span. But just like as an adult, they're just so much better because you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want and everything. And I the game itself, the Seahawks game was great, but I think just the comeback is
That was like
unmatched.
the best team, I'd say.
It was the best
I think
team,
that
the
was even
best
better than
game.
the '07 team.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because that was all about the offense in
Yeah.
'07. I think we had a much more balanced attack in 14, 15. But yeah, I can agree with you with Atlanta as far as the best Patriots Super Bowl. It might even be my favorite Boston championship. You just think about the nature of it. Again, '04 for the Red Sox was like insane. But again, I was 12 years old then, so I think that's a little different. But
I think
definitely the best Patriots
I know
one.
it's another side topic, but I think the my favorite Boston championship, I judge it on. I get teary eyed every time I watch the clips of this team, the 2013 Red Sox.
Yeah, no,
Just
that
with
was
everything
that
going
was like
on.
again, that was the first team I could like legally go out and watch. I
Yeah.
remember going to no longer I'm trying to even I'm blanking on the name of it actually on Yawkey Way
Yeah.
that basically every bar was down the block. I was with my buddy Stefan actually. He was a transfer student from the Netherlands. I was the oldest in my yeah, one of the oldest in my house in class. I was the one who was 21, so we went out and I remember being out for that one. So that was fantastic. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember
that team was
seeing
great.
John Lockie walk off the mound like chills
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when he tips the cap.
yeah. Yeah, that was great. So, and yeah, but I agree. As far as Patriots ones go, I do think that just that comeback and everything. My buddy Sam, I thought was going to put me through a wall. Got a bit of a champagne shower on the roof of my building that night. It was fantastic. I hate that I had work the next day. I wish I was in college for that one.
Yeah, I was like,
But it was great
I
to
think
host
I had a
that.
9:30, a 12:30, and a 5, and I'm like, I can make the 12:30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like, yeah, like they put the notes online. I'm like, I made sure I went every time. And I'm like, okay, this is my one. I got one. Like,
We'll catch up with that. Yeah, exactly. And um,
yeah,
so
'cause
going off the other question,
even like it's not even
sorry,
like
yeah.
it's even like not even been old enough to drink. Like I went wild for the Patriots Rams one, the last one.
Mhm.
That game stunk.
Yeah, that one was yeah weird. I forgot that's yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like watching it with like some people that like aren't like the biggest football fans, and they're like,
Mhm.
it's like Mike, this is what you spend all your time on. Like, do you watch this much football? I'm like, this is a bad
It's
example.
you're like, let me show you Super Bowls
Yeah,
49 and 51,
yeah.
please. Because that's the thing I'd say. 49 was obviously the best ending play.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, the comeback was great in 51, but the best ending is 49 for
Yeah.
sure.
So,
Yeah, yeah, Zolak went wild on that one. But kind of follow up on the other question I had, best non-Patriots Super Bowl, and I personally think there's only one answer here in my mind, the one that jumps out at me, and I want to see if you say it.
I'd say even though I didn't like the outcome because I was rooting for the other team, I think my favorite one I've seen I might just be blanking, and you could just tell me one that can probably might just change my mind right away. Would be
No, guys.
43. 43.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. In complete
Because
agreement there.
I was I was all aboard the Arizona Cardinals bandwagon. I was going wild when Larry Fitzgerald broke off that play,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was one of the very, very great throw and catch by Big Ben Santonio in that
So
game.
Antonio Holmes, again, his career didn't last that long, but he has one of the most iconic plays in NFL history after
Well,
that. And it's weird because I remember, and again, I think this is a lot of before a lot of the stuff came out or whatever. But I was a huge Ben fan back in the day, so I was actually big on that Steelers team. Looking back, I almost wish I was rooting for the Cardinals. That obviously wouldn't
yeah,
change the outcome, but I do wish Fitz got a ring back then. But no, it was a fantastic game, and I agree with
yeah.
you. I think a lot of people up here might say that one after that 44 because we got to see the Colts get buried there, and it was a great win for the Saints, especially after Katrina and everything. So I think that was good too. I don't know if it was as competitive as a game as 43. I just think, yeah, I agree with you. 43
it was a good game.
was fantastic.
And also, shout out mom and dad for letting me throw a Super Bowl party all throughout my high school and before high school career. So that was the first one I did throw was the 43. So
You know what's weird to me? Oh yeah, 'cause I think yeah, Taylor came over for that.
no, he came over for the Saints one. So I remember it was just me.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
That
got
was when Dave hip checked me into the wall. There's a crack in the basement.
The only thing I'll have to say is for some reason, I don't know what it is. I can't remember what I was doing. I mean, I must have just been at the house, but I like blacked out the entire Packers Steelers Super Bowl. I don't remember watching it at all. I just remember the outcome. It's weird. I'm like, what happened that year? I don't remember. It's weird. I don't know.
Were you home? I remember like I had people over, but it kind of was like a mess. Like
I don't know where I would have been.
I think I was like just playing like Call of Duty all day with like playing like Rust, like in the basement. It was like, oh crap, it's 6:30. We just turned it on. It was kind of.
I don't know. I'd have to go. That's
I
just
think the
something
thing I
my
remember
memory
the most
doesn't
from
have
that game was when everyone left. I went back to my room and I was like, oh, I'll watch TV for like 10, 15 minutes. And I turned it on and then somehow it was on Spanish news and it was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl MVP. That's the thing I remember the most from the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. That's just a weird thing.
Yeah, and I guess I think part of the reason why everyone's looking forward to the Super Bowl so much is that like this is going to sound very cocky, but I feel like a lot of outside of like there's been a lot of if you think of the last like 10 or so years, think of the best Super Bowls, they're all involved the Patriots. Like
yeah,
there's been some sneakers when they're involved. So I think the fact that it's
Which is funny because that's almost when I'd be okay with it being a bad game. I mean, they've been a lot of fun, but a lot of stress along the way. I'd almost prefer that when
they had the worst one in the last 10 years in 53, but
right.
But between the Seahawks game, the Falcon game, even the Eagle game,
even the
game,
Giants games that they lost, But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted that to be a fun little question to throw out there. But yeah, so again, definitely looking forward to tomorrow and the game we have there again. I just hope it's a good one. Like we said, we've been a lot of Patriots games that have been good, but hoping that some of the non-Patriots games are good as well. Just want to hit on a few topics here. I know we've spent a lot of time on Super Bowl preview, but just
quick
going around a little bit, especially with the other Boston teams specifically. So I want to hit on a little bit of NBA, mostly the Celtics. So they're on a 5-game road trip now. They have 3 games down. They've had games Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So 2-1 so far. They don't have to win in Sacramento where Kemba didn't play. But I don't know. It's been tough because this team they don't seem to have the depth at times. And I think that's what's getting frustrating. It's going to be their downfall if they don't make some changes by the deadline.
Watching this team is a confusing process. It's like they look amazing 1 second and then the next it's like what am I watching? I apologize. There's some background noise. Put some Mario Kart going on in the background. It gets really intense. Trust me, if I was out there making the same amount of noise. But yeah, it's like 1 second you're good. It's like, okay, Tatum and Brown are going off. And even without Brown last night, like Tatum had a good game. And like even like some of the bench pieces, like see Grant in that Sacramento game, it's a great 3 to get it within. He gets it to like 1-3. He gets a 3 and gets it within 1 point. You're like, okay, great job, Grant. Then he goes back on the defensive side and commits a very stupid foul, and they're in the bonus and puts him at put him at the line for 2 points, like Harrison Barnes, a very good free throw shooter. It's just like, they're killing me. And even though I want Robert Williams to get more minutes, and he's clearly the best player all year, Thompson's having a great road trip. He's averaging like 13.5 points. Like it's like finally, and now it's like at one point you're looking around and it's like I know we were shorthanded against the Kings, but it was like Waters and like Ogilvy were on the floor with like Teague, and it's like where's the scoring coming from right now?
Yeah, and I think that's something that, and I think I got games confused. We were talking before the call. I think we kind of did a opposite with the Warriors and Kings games. I watched the whole Warriors game. I was too tired to stay up again for the whole Kings game.
Yeah,
But
you got to pick your
Grant
battles on
looked
the West Coast trip.
right, exactly. So Grant looked really good against the Warriors. That's what I was referring to there. But yeah, but then the last couple of games again, you had no Kemba in Sacramento, and then no Jalen last night. So you're getting a little thin at the guard position there. And something that you threw out there, I looked at the box score next. I couldn't believe Tremont Waters had 23 minutes, and I think Carson had like 8 or something. It was not a lot of minutes, and I think last night proved the case, and I hope that this is the case going forward. If we do have injuries or whatever going at the guard position, like ideally these guys won't be getting none of these guys will be getting much action. But I think if you're talking about uh, Carson. Carson Edwards, Tremont Waters, and Jeff Teague, who's been a massive disappointment. If someone has to come in the game, I want Carson coming in because he's looked looked the best so far. He's knocking down his threes. He was great last night. I mean, it was kind of the Tatum show, and Kemba chipped in with some points again. You mentioned Tristan Thompson, who I think early on was really struggling, but he's been fantastic on the road trip, like you mentioned before. But that secondary scoring, Carson had 14 last night, and they needed every bit of it to be a really good Clippers team last night.
Yeah, even without PG, they're still a very talented team.
Yeah, we were without Jalen, like I was saying, that
Yeah,
cancel, and we're also without Smart. So that's another thing too. With Smart out too, someone's having to step up, and I think Carson should be getting more of those minutes.
I do kind of appreciate how Brad's handling the depth, like the lack of depth at the guard position right now. Trying to like,
Yeah,
okay, one night Waters getting the minutes, one night Edwards getting the minutes, because I feel like it's going to come down to like, as much as I love them both in college, there's only really room for one of them to be a part of the rotation. So you got to take these regular season games to kind of
kind of
siphon
test
out.
it out.
They test
Well,
it
yeah,
out
I'm just
and
saying.
be
I
like,
think
who's better? And it seems like Edwards is winning the battle
yeah,
right.
I think he made that pretty clear last night. But yeah, last night too, something I want to say that I was really impressed with. Well, first, a couple things is I think Brad's been kind of doing the whole. I don't know how much we've seen Brown and Tatum on the floor together because I feel like you got to have one of them out there
Yeah,
pretty much
at
at
all
all
times.
times. So it became really difficult last night. I think Tatum logged a lot of minutes last night. I think he was
Yeah.
probably in the high, they're probably across 40 because I think he had 33 minutes and it was still pretty early in the fourth quarter. But um, I was really impressed with Tatum on the defensive end last night. It came down late, and there was a huge play where he's guarding Kawhi, one of the best players in the league, and he almost poke checked him, if we're going to use a hockey term there, and it led to a break the other way. And I just think that is something that you really want to see out of your franchise player. And I think for a while it's just seen as Tatum's more of the offensive player, Brown's maybe a little bit of a better defensive player. We're
Two-way,
seeing
yeah.
them both kind of bridge the gap
Yeah.
to both of them. Brown's made a lot of improvements offensively, and I think Tatum we're seeing defensively is, like I said, he's locking down Kawhi Leonard. He forced some tough shots on him last night. Like I said, that poke check there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, like, even you gotta take away from this year is that both their growths have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Two absolute home runs of lottery
Mm-hmm.
picks so far. So I think I'm at the point where it's sorry about that. I think I'm at a point where I'm kind of treating all these regular season games as just figure it out. Like get these,
Experiments
yeah,
almost.
like I with the lack of crowds right now this year with COVID, like home court
Mm-hmm.
isn't as valuable as it is in year past. I know in the bubble it meant nothing, but I'd say kind of just figure out your rotation right now, get everything locked down, let your stars grow, and hopefully this playoffs is the coming out party for Brown and Tatum. So it's basically
I
like
think one of us cut out here.
I think that is you because I can hear you really well. Can you speak?
Yeah, you got me, Mike?
Yeah, I got you. You never cut out, so I think the
I
recording
never cut.
has been fine. So if the only thing was the background noise and me, just us talking through this right now.
All right. Well, again, apologies for any technical difficulties there.
Yeah,
But
we're not that good at editing yet, so you guys are gonna listen to it. Deal with it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're just a couple of guys until maybe down the line we'll get some more software. But anyway, I think I might have missed the ending of your point there about kind of just figuring it out right now.
Yeah, just figure it out. Like especially when we're short at depth, and just
Yeah.
let our two stars grow as much as they can until they
Mhm.
become legitimate all stars. I mean, I assuming both of them will make the team this year.
They absolutely should. Yeah.
One I think should start, and I think should be Brown.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
Tatum missed some time this year. He's definitely worthy of the squad, but I think Jalen should be a starter. I'm worried just because of the fan voting. I think
Yeah.
he's going to get kind of screwed there. So I think that'll probably end up being probably Kyrie and if I actually submitted one ballot recently, I think it should be Bradley Beal and Jalen Brown, honestly, at the guard positions. But
It's already depressing enough. I don't even think about Brad Beal.
hey, they had a good win. Like we talked about last episode, he had a good win, and he sounds like he wants to stay in Washington. And that's kind of again a bit of a side tangent here, but with Bradley Beal, I think it's funny because he made a good point. He's almost like, all right, well, if I demand a trade, people are gonna like critique me. But now that I say I want to stay here, everyone thinks I'm like a loser because I don't want to go to a winning team. It's like, well, what is he supposed to do? And I respect him. He's like, all right, like I'm here. I got Russ. You know, let's see if we can do anything here. And then like, yeah, I'm sure down the line, like he'd be open to a trade. But like right now, he's focused on Washington, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like I don't think that makes him like okay with losing. Like we've seen the faces on the bench. He's not happy with it. So I don't know. I think it's a little harsh to in a league where I think we're critiquing a lot of guys for taking the easy route out and joining a super team. He doesn't even want to do like a half measure there. He's kind of staying in Washington and seeing how everything goes. So we'll obviously see how that situation plays out. But I think that's something that we do have to kind of respect at Bradley Beal at the moment. But yeah, I had a few more notes there. I mean, there was like a weird situation last night with Durant and COVID, how he had a close contact that was inconclusive. So he started and then got pulled at halftime after the test came through positive. It's just a very weird situation that happened last night. So I just wanted to briefly hit on that, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of it's kind of made up at this point.
Yeah,
Or the handling of it, I should
say. I was gonna say.
No. COVID is very real.
Cancel an episode. Episode 7 are gonna get canceled.
Yeah, can't. Yeah.
I don't really have that much to add on that.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird situation.
We're gonna get to this in a couple minutes, but I was mainly watching the Bruins at the 7 p.m. time slot last night. So
well, why don't we do it right now? Because I think you'll probably have more to add than I do. I just seen that they've been an absolute wagon. They're beating. They're never out. I think that's something that you've kind of learned. If you put the game on, they're down 2 goals late, you can't really turn it off because there's a chance.
I don't get this team. They just don't die. It's like Austin Powers. Like, why don't you die? It's like literally like every time it's like, oh, they're down going into the third. Or like they're down early in the third, and just like I walk away and I'm like, oh crap, it's 1-1. Like literally, like I walked away from the TV for a couple minutes last night. It went from 1-0 to 1-1, and then I see Corrali put one in the back of the net as I'm walking by. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And then they had a nice comeback win. Pasta with a hat trick on Wednesday. I know it was mainly built from the power play. I know there's might be some ticky-tack penalties that might not show up come May. Mm-hmm. But the power play it's a part of hockey, and the penalties do happen in playoffs. I mean, they're not as ticky-tacky, but if you can get the power play buzzing and be like the best power play team in the league, that's a strength they should go on. But I do think they're going to need to add some top 6 depth. I know no one's going to crack the top line because it's the best line in hockey, I might say, especially when everyone's healthy and Pasternak's playing his best. I know sometimes he can go streaky and go silent for a little bit, but I think he's played like 5 games and 7 points. Mm-hmm. So you just add someone to like the secondary scoring. I know Coyle hasn't been his best this year, and Krejci has only been producing really in the power play. So if we can get someone who's like a top 3 forward, but to play on a second line, that's kind of what we're going to need to be a championship. I know we're kind of going through the growing pains on defense, and Lauzon's been really hit or miss, but I mean, they're winning games. That's all I can really ask for, especially in that loaded division. Going to Philly, and I know that I was talking to my friend Ron Tarby, who's a big Bruins guy, and he's like, yeah, it stinks how we keep on going to overtime, and like, yeah, we're getting 2 points, but everyone below us is getting 1, and I'm like, well, we shouldn't be getting 2 points anyway. We're down like 3-0. Like it should be 2-0. The fact that it's 2-1, we're basically profiting 3 points that way.
Right, exactly. That's true. It's a good way of looking at it. But yeah,
I did send a snap to Nick last night watching the game. He was like, I don't like this fucking team. Sorry, pardon my French, but
because luckily we don't have FCC guidelines here. Only
because he did say before the game Wednesday, he sent me a video of him watching the YouTube feed of our
yes. Probably one of our biggest fans out there. Shows Nick Frasco. Probably one of the biggest supporters of the pod right now, so we appreciate it out there.
So
definitely love that. Yeah, the pregame. Let's listen to some podcasts here, and then we'll get into the piece. So yeah, definitely love that. And like you said, it's just again different year because you're playing the same teams over and over again. But yeah, they look strong. Like you said, it's a tough division with both Pennsylvania teams and obviously the Capitals as well. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to down the line. I got provided everything goes off that hitch, COVID wise. I just love those nights where you got Bruins, Celtics. Like, I hate when they're on the same night because that'll happen because the NBA does these weird, 2 days off and then they get thrown off. But, I like when they're just, every other night.
I hate when they're the same night and they start a half hour apart. So, let's say the Bruins start at 7 and the Celtics start at 7:30.
I thought that's good. I thought it was when they're
you didn't even start at the same time because if they're a half hour apart, the Bruins' halftime is the second intermission.
What if they're an hour apart?
Then you're good. Because I
can never remember. I was trying to
Well, because then it's also if it's the Celtics are playing at 7 and it's the Bruins are the big NBC game starting at 8.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Or sometimes playoff games if it's earlier on, if the hockey's ahead of basketball, if it's the first round, the Celtics would be you're starting at 7 and you're starting at 7, not 7:15, but
yeah.
Spoiled.
But no. So let's again, Bruins have a little bit of a break now because the 2 Sabres game got postponed.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't play again until Wednesday night. So a bit of a break there. Everyone gets some extra rest in. So again, they'll start a 2-game set with the Rangers next Wednesday and Friday. But I wanted to keep kind of hit on a few items here, keep it pretty simple after our long
football talk
for the Super Bowl. Yeah. We're not going to cover much college basketball today. It's been kind of nothing crazy's happened this week. Not a great slate today. Although I do want to note maybe potential upset alert here. I'm going to see how this possession goes for Oklahoma State facing number 6 Texas. 3-pointer is good. So we have a tie game, Mike. Just with 53.7 seconds left. Tied at 59 here. So again, number 6 team in the country. It's so weird though because their records are almost identical, but the conference records are very different. But even still, it's just weird. Texas 11-4, 5-3 in conference. Oklahoma State 11-5, 4-5 in conference. So yeah, just a weird year with a lot of cancellations.
Yeah, I think the big part of the big night this week was probably Wednesday when I'm just going to go in chronological order of the games played. Number 5 Houston lost to ECU. 22 Florida lost at home to South Carolina. Actually, let me filter on top 25 instead of NCAA Division 1.
Yeah, that's
go back to Wednesday. Let me see. Villanova 3 overall lost to St. John's. Creighton 15 lost to Georgetown at home. Georgetown's only 5-8. So there were some big upsets Wednesday night. So that's kind of gonna say Gonzaga and Baylor.
Yeah,
that's
again. Hopefully, you have a great tournament. Again, the Big 12 very very competitive. But
I think the fact that I think the tournament itself will be good because, like I said, there's a lot of parity. So
you
might see a lot of 11s beating 6s or 12s.
Yeah.
I think that's
absolutely. So again, we have a lot of time for that. We'll keep an eye on this game here, but again, didn't have too many points for this episode. Again, we'll expand more once we wrap up the Super Bowl and get
closer to conference tournaments and
right. Still about a month or so away from that, so we have some time there. But yeah, keep an eye on this game live. It's our live thing here. But did want to cover some MLB hot stove. So
it's got a little
the
burners went on. The burners went on the last couple of days.
The man that met the legend, Trevor Bauer. So kind of a wacky character there, but had a fantastic shortened 2020 season.
And
kind of a hot commodity for pitching.
And he's going to the Mets. Bob Nightingale reported it first.
Yeah, congrats. Nice job, Bob. Oh, sorry. No, I was actually going to the Dodgers, Mike. So Bob Nightingale was wrong. So he was wrong. Again, we were talking before this. I'm like, I don't get what's up with this Bob Nightingale guy. Why is he getting is he not thinking before he tweets? Does he hear his cousin from the Bronx or the cousin from Flushing saying that the Mets are gonna
cocktail party?
Yeah, exactly. Where are you getting this info from? But that was kind of the hot rumor. I'm honestly surprised it didn't actually happen, just because that's all I'd been hearing was Mets, and then the Dodgers just got even stronger.
Yeah, well, I follow Bauer on Twitter, so he retweeted his agent, and a couple days ago was down the two teams, and I'm like, okay, Mets and Dodgers.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of knew that.
Rachel Luba, right?
Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah.
So like I kind of knew it was down to those two, and even though everything was saying Mets, I know he wanted short-term flexibility, and
Yeah.
I had a feeling that that was going to line up with the Dodgers' ideas rather
Oh
than
yeah.
the
I'll
Mets.
pay anyone the next couple of years.
I think the Mets were kind of going towards they wanted to lock him up. So
Like a 4-year deal.
yeah. So this is awesome for Bauer. I think the final numbers were 3 years, 111. There's opt outs after every year, and it's going to be 40 mil in the first year, 45 the second
Insane.
year, and then the rest of it in year 3.
It's crazy.
So I'm guessing most likely he's just going to opt out after year 2. Probably go for a couple, get some
Yeah.
jewelry out in Tinseltown the first couple years, and after that, barring like a TJ where he's just gonna bank on the last year of his option to get paid for a TJ. I
Yeah.
do see him opting out in 2 years and then probably getting one last mega deal.
Yeah. So that puts the rotation at what we got: Walker Bueller, Kershaw, Trevor Bauer, Dustin May, and I feel like I'm forgetting someone that's probably gonna slide in there.
He didn't play last year. That's why you're forgetting him.
Oh, David Price, exactly.
The
Yes.
lefty.
So, and absolutely insane. So, what's that? 3
Yeah.
lefties and 2 righties.
Yeah, and then even just like going off, like they still have Gonsolin that can log innings.
Yeah.
Even if May doesn't turn out and they want to put Urias back in the rotation, you saw how dominant he was in his long relief appearances in the postseason. They're trying to Treinen. He'll probably take over Jansen's role, if not Urias.
Yeah.
So even though, like I said, they've lost a lot of players, but they're still that rotation's still stacked. I mean, Gavin Lux is probably going to get full term at bat. So
yeah.
it's probably. And I don't think they're up for Seeker quite yet, so it's probably going to time up when Bauer get off the book. I don't know exactly. I'm probably when Bauer goes off the books, it'll be Seeker time. Yeah. And then Turner's still out there, and they might re-sign him. So
yeah, no, they're so stacked, and I'm honestly going to be surprised if anyone can even stand in their way now with these arms.
Hear me out. Can we trade? Get the Angels to the NL, get them their rivalry, and put San Diego in the AL so they can play in the World Series.
That's fine with me. Because that's the thing. It's like it does. That's probably the one drawback for the Padres right now is that they are in the same division. But one team that I think obviously took them to the brink last year, and took them to Game 7 of the NLCS is the Braves, and they also had a good signing yesterday. It was a re-signing, so no one knew, but re-signing Marcelo Osuna, and that was a 4-year deal, right, Mike? I know they signed him a 1-year deal last year.
Yes,
I am bringing him back.
Getting the numbers right now. 4 years, $65 million, and it's a 5th-year option that would make it $580.
Yeah, and we were talking before this. I know there's no DH this year, so we're going to see a lot of Marcelo Ozuna in the outfield, but maybe banking on that down the line is getting the DH back in the NL, especially towards the back half of that deal.
Hoping he can be a serviceable outfielder for a year or two, and then when he is kind of not serviceable out there, the DH can kind of save them. So, I mean, I like the deal. Like, they were so close last year. I know they were kind of running off these 1-year deals. They first did it with Donaldson, then Ozuna. But I feel like locking up Ozuna long term up to 2. I love JD. He had a great year with the Twins last year. But I think that was the call to get Ozuna back on the books.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think the NL is 10 times better than the AL between, like I said, talked about last episode, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, Padres, Braves, the stacked NL East. So
yeah, I think you have a very good chance that the NL might play out again. You never know, but it could play out very much kind of like we expect. I think you're going to see Braves, Cardinals, Dodgers winning the divisions, and then Padres hosting the wild card game
against the NL East.
Someone in the NL East. Yeah. Again, I don't know if the Cubs can somehow try to get into the mix there, but I think it'll be whoever can come out second in the NL East over there.
They'll probably be like, second in the East, it's going to be like the Marlins.
Yeah, it could be the Marlins, but they're spending money, but will that take a little bit of time? Phillies obviously trying to hang in there as well. Nats, it could be anyone out there. But then one more news that broke today. I think it was today anyway. AL West trade between the Rangers and A's. Chris Davis for Elvis Andrus. So Chris Davis heading to Texas. Okay. Yes, Mr. 247 himself going over to Texas, and Elvis Andrus, Oakland, replacing Marcus Semien at shortstop.
Yeah.
So
So
just a little ALS swap. I think it's something that probably works pretty well for both teams.
yeah, it's the Rangers are the bottom of the barrel. So I think they saved like 10 or so million swapping out veterans, and
Yeah,
uh, the uh, the A's get there, got the middle to replace Simeon, which is kind of, I mean, for the A's, that's kind of best case scenario is getting Elvis Andrus.
absolutely. So a little bit of hot stove. We're kind of seeing some deals trickle out every few days here, as far as the MLB goes. And like I said, a little bit of time before that starts, but obviously want to talk over this every few days just to see what happened and kind of keeping the eye for the future there. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers what we wanted to talk about from a sports perspective. A lot of Super Bowl talk early on, a lot of football. And the next episode will be a recap of the game. So kind of probably the same. And then kind of once we're moved on from there, we'll kind of dig deeper into the hockey and the basketball and the baseball preview. But I did have to wrap up with one final thing here, a bit of a personal note. You know, a bit of sad news, as I think some of you, if you follow me on social media, you've seen by now. But I'm a proud rabbit owner, and we've had two up until very recently. And our guy Fetty Hop, fantastic name by the way. Going to go ahead and say that for myself.
Little pat on the back.
He again, we had to put him to sleep yesterday. It was a rough battle, and probably the most frustrating part is that we still didn't fully know what was wrong. But at the end of the day, the guy was just too weak. He was a fighter. Last Sunday we went in and we thought that was goodbye, but he kept fighting for days, and we let him fight. We let him try, but it was too much for him. And Caitlin and I moved into this apartment 3 years ago, and 2 weeks in we got Fetty Hop. So it's something that we'd always talked about getting a rabbit. Again, we weren't quite ready for the dog. That's something that's going to happen one day, but weren't ready for that. We weren't sure about a cat, so we're like, why don't we do something a little different? We'll go for a rabbit, and he truly lit up our lives, and was an absolute riot. He was so unique.
Always in the kitchen.
Always in the kitchen, trying to pick up the veggies we're dropping on the floor, and just even his coat. He's black and white, but had some brown in there. It kind of looked like like an Oreo with some chocolate dip in there as well. But just full of energy all the time, and always hopping around, and even his last day in the apartment, as it was a week ago Friday, where we just knew something was had to be done. Essentially, we didn't know we were going to be taking him in for the last time, but he was still hopping around last Friday, and just really just wasn't able to overcome it. Again, we think it was probably an infection or something, just because there's nothing tangible there. But again, had to lay him to rest yesterday. It was really tough. It was something that as a first time pet owner myself, didn't really know how I was going to feel. Definitely broke down a lot more than I thought it would. I think it was something kind of an out of sight, out of mind, and having to, obviously see it happen, and see him in this weak state when you're used to him hopping around. Were some emotional moments there for the both of us, and really, really just sad to see him go, because he was cut down too early. Again, you typically see, reps can, for those of you who don't know, can make it about 8 to 12 years. I think we even saw one on a Facebook group that made it to 15 actually, but Fetty just a little over 6, roughly. Like I said, we got him when he was 3, and we've had him for 3 years. So just really got a bad break there. We tried to do everything we could, like I said, staying on top of it, especially being home now. You're noticing more, and just try to get him as much medical attention as we could. And yeah, he was my best. He was our best friend here, and we saw him every day. We have our girl Molly now. We got her over this summer to kind of pair the two up. They only had 6 months together, but luckily we still have her with us right now, and we're gonna take every precaution we can with her to make sure we have her as long as possible. But again, R.I.P. Fetty Hop. Again, just a huge part of my life the last 3 years, and I'll never forget anything that he did, and I appreciate everyone who's reached out and given kind words to me.
Yeah, definitely very melancholy news. Thoughts are with you and Kaylin right now. I always will remember one time. I think it was one of the first times I ever went to your place. It was probably later on down the line. I think it was when we went to the BC
Mm-hmm.
game with the infamous PP day.
Yeah.
And I think we had some family from Virginia in town, so we went to Emmett's, and then I think at that time it was still 6B. And I think we both had a pretty fun day. We came back a little tipsy, and I think
Oh yeah.
he went in to check in on Caitlin, or I went down, and I just like laid outside Fetty's cage, and I just started petting him like very drunk. And I feel like I was like looking right in his eyes, and when you're like really drunk, you're like connecting with animals. Like I feel like I had that moment with Fetty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you've heard that story, but it definitely does stink to see.
Yeah, and again, we haven't had a million people over here. I mean, especially the last year with COVID, but even before that. But I think anytime anyone was over, he wasn't shy. He would
Yeah,
hop in the living room and hop over your feet and
yeah, it was
see what's
always
going on.
always at my feet. So anytime I'm
Yeah.
over, so
So again, the
we'll be
first
missed.
days we've ever had together. Like I said, he's been in this apartment, not much shorter than Caitlin and I have. So he was a part of the apartment. It definitely is always going to feel a little empty here as long as we're here. And yeah, just truly going to be missed. And like I said, I appreciate everyone giving me kind words, but he was just an absolutely great friend to have around, and we're just going to miss him so much. But I just had to wrap up and mention that, give him a shout out to end the program here. But like I said, just we're always thinking about him. And again, thanks for letting me go on this little speech here to kind of end the program. But yeah, just again, one of the best, and I'm gonna miss him.
Well put.
But yeah, so that'll do it for today's episode. Not
Sadly,
to
I
end
feel
on
like
too sour of a note. We have tomorrow. The
yeah,
Super Bowl is gonna help me
I got
forget a little bit.
half our recordings end up with melancholy happy trails.
Right, exactly. But again, the only good thing is that it happened on a Friday, so we kind of had the weekend to
Yeah,
decompress a little bit. Like I said, enjoy Sunday and kind of just
enjoy the
start
big
a
game
new.
tomorrow, and
Yes, exactly. We'll start a fresh week on Monday, but he'll always be in the back of our minds. But yeah, just had to throw that out there. And like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow's game. Hopefully, everyone is able to enjoy it, and hopefully, we have a great game to watch.
mm-hmm.
So, thanks, Mike, for hopping on, and we'll be back with a recap early next week to discuss what goes down in Super Bowl 55.
Yep. Hopefully, it will be an all-time great game.
Also excited for the weekend at halftime. I think he's going to put on a good show.
Oh yeah, we got to find that odds what song's gonna be first.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with Blinding Lights just because.
it's like I'm almost just that's the easy pick, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
He throws a bit of a curveball, but yeah, looking
get from my
forward to a good
face or
game.
something.
Good game, good halftime show, and like I said, hope everyone enjoys it. And we'll be back early next week.
See you guys later.